Welcome to another episode of Mama Mondays. And this week, I really just wanted to share a few things. So, the last video that I did was the first one that I had done in a few weeks, maybe a few months. And that was just because we have gone through some really great upgrades and changes and transitions within our family here. So we have officially moved. We have a home together now, which is beautiful. And some of you have already seen our house because you've come over for clubhouses or meetups and things like that. And so as far as the point before, we mentioned, or I had mentioned, just the point of like, so you want to become a mom, right? And asking yourself and writing and really like asking those around you, like, why do you think I really want to be a mom? Like really digging into the why. Because there's a lot of times where we make decisions off of emotion and off of external things or people or society, right? We look at something and we say, oh, I want that, right? I see someone over here has this car or this relationship or this thing, and people just like, they want that for a selfish reason or for the clout, like to be able to flex on people and be able to be like, look what I have, even if their life is, they're absolutely miserable in their life, right? So hopefully most of you have already looked through that point. If you haven't, reach out to me and we can kind of dig through that before we get more into what we're going to talk about today. And the reason for that point is once you're clear on your why, how you will get pregnant, who will be your person if you're not already in a relationship, when it will happen, what the perfect time is, all of that. It will come because you're very clear on your why. And that is what happened to me. I have gone through a lot of changes in the last 5 months. And those changes did not just come from my environment. It did not come from meeting Seth or meeting people or a specific day. I like just had this awakening of my life where I was like, oh, here's the answer to life. I'm going to do this. It's things that have accumulated over time, right? And I have dug into a lot of my programming, which was holding me back. So I had a lot of independent woman programming where I didn't need a man. I didn't want a man. I really just kind of did my own thing and was ready to do foster care and had my own house and had bought that house on my own and just done all these things. And came to realize that that's just not best. It's not best for me. It's not best for women in general to really be in this light, or men, really anyone. I don't even want to just say women. It's not best for anyone, any human, to be in this mindset of independence. Because being independent is not good for anyone. That means you're not teachable. You're not willing to learn from anyone else. You're not open-minded to someone else's ideas or like suggestions or comments or feedback, just different support that you could be getting. But when I was in that mindset of independent woman and I'm going to do everything on my own, I pushed a lot of people away. I had a lot of pushback within myself from that. And I had almost started to like look at the point of like, I'm not gonna have kids. Like, this is not a thing. This is just my life. This is where things are going, and I have to deal with this. And that was something that I really didn't want to be my reality. But I had got to the point where I almost believed that I wasn't going to be able to ever become a mom in a way of what I had envisioned my whole life, which is physically giving birth, having a child with a man. We're together. We're in a great relationship. We're committed. We're aligned in purpose and what we're doing, and we're going to have a child, right? So I was able to transcend that point pretty quickly when I got into the group and just met the right people and met Seth and really just found how I wasn't teachable. I wasn't willing to change from where I was. I wanted to stay comfortable or stagnant and just be there and just kind of be like, woe is me, whatever, this is just all I can really do in life. I'm just going to do my best in this like limited space, which is, if you kind of have seen me throughout my life, like that's not me. So I had gotten so brainwashed to the point where I was just like, I guess I don't want to have kids, whatever. Now, from changing so much in the last 5 months, getting into a relationship based on agreements, purpose, understanding, this is something that no one that I know besides these people in the community that I've met, no one really was doing this. Like, I didn't know anyone who, I just had to pause that for a second. He was coming down and he was also on a call. So I didn't really have a way to alert him because I'm currently recording this in our dining room area. So that's the reality, right? This is the reality of what happens. And I'm not going to cut this video because that's just who I am. I just share whatever comes to mind. So that point in itself, when I have shared that with, like, the other day, my grandma or different people, they at first sometimes are like, what is that? And then other people are really, like, it makes them confident. Like, they're like, oh, Seth seems like a great guy. Like, they just automatically give him credibility because of the fact that we have chosen to be in a committed relationship. We already have agreements. We have a document. We have all these things that I didn't even have before when I was married, got divorced, other relationships I've been in the past, all of that. So the fact that this is how it started is why we have changed so much. Second point, the reason we have changed so much is because we are both aligned in purpose. So this does not mean we both have the same religion or we both like blue. Like, that's not what this is, right? Being aligned in purpose means every dollar spent is really looked at to say, is this really best? And just to share a quick example, I was going to order Chinese food the other day, and I was really craving like Chinese food, mainly because Ashley had mentioned Chinese food, and her and Josh had went to go get some. And that's where that started. But then also later, I was just like, I haven't had cream cheese puffs in a long time. Those are like my favorite. And then, like, I really wanted fried rice. And I went upstairs and I was like, Seth, I think I'm going to go get this food. Like, I'll be back in a little bit. He's like, what are you going to get? I was like, I'm going to go get Chinese food quick. And he was like, Amy, is that really best? And I was like, no. Because there's just a lot of MSG and just different things in it. And being that we've both chosen to eat all organic and very, very healthy and good, just from the ground kind of foods, you know, like I make everything that we are eating for the most part, unless we're eating out. And so when he said that, he followed up with like, but I should just make your own. Because he knows that I can make it. I've made it before. He's tried it. It was good. He's like, why don't you make your own? And my resistance was more or less like, well, I want it now. And I don't want to wait. So like I need to go get it. And then I looked at that point for myself and was just like, there's literally no reason I need to go get Chinese food right now. Like it's mainly off of emotion and energy. And when I like took that away, put that aside, I'm like, okay, I can literally just go downstairs and like eat anything else. Like there's plenty of food in this house. I can just find something else to eat. Then I was talking to Tara and she's like, you could just have some cream cheese and like some crackers or something like that, or, you know, and kind of get that fix of like cream cheese and stuff. And I was like, wow, that's a great idea. So just from getting support from other people, I was able to look at that point and go like, all of this was just energy and like off of nothing. Like there's really no reason I needed to go get and order Chinese food. And I never was someone in the past who just go like spontaneously go buy something like that. And I think part of that came from this small excuse of like, well, I'm really craving this. So like, I should like follow my craving. And that was more of a point where I was just wanting to like put the blame on this craving or this reason and not take responsibility and say, no, this is just really not even best. Like I don't even know why I spend time like looking on the website and doing that, because the solution could have already came and I could have either went to go make the food as I was doing all that for 10 minutes, or like today, I just ended up making it. Like that's what I had for lunch, or we had for lunch. So all of these points are just different pieces that I walked through. Being in a committed relationship, having someone to support you, having the community to support you, having solid friends that really respect and understand your change and your progress and what you're walking through and why you're walking through it. Because if they don't understand why you want to have a home birth, or why you want to have a baby, or why you want to become a mom, or what does mom even mean to you? Like all of these points, if you're not digging into that, well, then you're going to project that onto your child when you have a child and say like, I want you to call me mom. You're going to like wait for this kid that's a baby to say mama. You're going to be like, say mama, say mama. And it's like, what does mama even mean? What does mom even mean? Why are we wanting to teach a fresh, brand new human, mama and daddy, or mom and dad, when and this is my opinion. Some people might have some backlash to this and not like what I'm saying. And that's within yourself to look at, right? Any resistance to things that you might hear on this channel or on any video that I do going forward. So I've had to walk through this myself, by the way. So this is not something I just always have believed. I used to wonder, like, why do we have to call our mom mom? And why do we have to call our dad dad? Like, what thing did they get that they all of a sudden deserve this different respect or like higher standing, or like they're up on a pedestal just because they gave birth to you or their DNA is inside of you or whatever, right? Some of you can probably attest to that. You can like get all worked up and there's energy around that, right? Then we look at the piece of, so then why do we want to have children and like require them to call us mom and dad? Like we are different from the other humans that are going to help raise the child. We're somehow the authority over the daycare person who many people bring their kids to daycare and they're actually raising your children, because that's what I was doing when I worked at the preschool. Is some of these kids are there from like 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. I am not shaming these people. It is just the reality of our world. Our society has created women to be so independent that they want to be a mom. They want someone who's going to be around forever and never like leave them until they're 18 potentially. And who's always going to be there for them, who's always going to potentially love them, be around, never leave them, right? Because they're a kid, they like literally depend on you. So some moms want to be a mom for that reason. Some moms also want to be a mom because they look at the point of that authority piece that society creates parents to think they are. They're better than their child. They're better than the person who's basically raising their kids at the preschool. They're better than the teacher at school. They think they know their child, all these things. But in reality, what's inside of a child is our DNA that we give to them. So, Seth and I create a baby. The baby gets our DNA, gets a little bit of my mom and dad, a little bit of his mom and dad, and that's why we have to walk the process to understand who we are and what we're giving now to a child. So beyond that point, you look at why is there this mom and dad piece, right? And this could be a whole video, so I'm not going to go too far into this. But really look at like, what is your reaction when there's conversation around, ooh, I'm going to tell your mama, or like, your dad isn't going to like this, like those kinds of phrases at any age of your life, even now, right? And the only reason that you have this emotional reaction to that phrase or those phrases or that word is because there was so much focus and pressure on the point of, I'm your mom. You better treat me with respect. You better listen to me. You better do as I say. You better not disobey me. All of that, right? But some of us may have not learned that, like respect or kindness, whatever you learn from your parent or parents. Some of us didn't learn that kindness piece for others. We learned like, mom and dad, like that's it. You better obey. And then for me, I kind of did the opposite. So I was like struggling to respect my parents from time to time in my life. and have a healthy relationship. And so then I would do the opposite. I had like these really close relationships with all these other moms that I nannied, their kids, all these other parents, couples, married families, teachers. I mean, I like latched onto all these other human beings because I was like, there's something weird about this, that I'm only supposed to do this for them, and like they're almighty gods, and like I have to bow to them and treat them like they didn't do anything wrong. But then it's okay for them to look at what I've done wrong. So there just was like no equality in that. And that's the point that I'm going to kind of end on here, is it comes down to equality. If we treat all human beings and all things as equals, we don't need a label of mom and dad. That's why this whole podcast and YouTube channel and videos is very interesting, because I call it Mama Mondays. But really, like, our children will not call us mama or daddy or mom or dad. Our children will call us Seth and Amy. And that is because that's our name, and that's what everyone else calls us. Maybe they want to make a nickname for me, like Aim or Sethi, like whatever, because they might see that within us, like sharing that, or like me calling Seth like a nickname like that. But for the most part, there isn't going to be this label of like, I'm your mom and he's your dad. And that is a choice we have made. That is a choice you can respect or not. Like, it's irrelevant if you respect it, because that's what we're choosing to do within our household and our family. But if it's something that you're looking at or questioning, excuse me, or you're becoming a parent, or you have become a parent now recently, it's something to consider, because there is so much within our society that we have just accepted and allowed. Abuse, poverty, hunger, so much that we have accepted and allowed. And by that, I mean, you have participated. I have participated. Seth has participated. None of us are special. We've all participated. And then by allowed, I mean, if we're participating, we're allowing it to happen. If I shop on Amazon online, I'm allowing the opportunities for people to work at Amazon and have that job or do that thing, right? So there's still things that we participate and allow that we know isn't best. But over time, we are slowly getting away from that, and we are building our own ecosystem within our friends and groups of people to build something better, but also build something that is truly best, because other people are aligned in purpose and principle on the same level as we are. And it's not like a church where everyone reads the Bible, because I will say I participated and allowed church to be in my life. And many of you who have talked to me about religion or faith, I honestly never read the Bible. So how can you be that if you never followed the rules, quote unquote? So that's just my experience. That's just me. If something resonates with you, if you're reacting to something, reach out. I'm not ashamed to kind of go into something with someone if they want to. Support people throughout this process. If you are looking to become a mom, you want to be a parent, you want to raise children, you are raising children, you have a 5-year-old and all of a sudden you're just like, wow, this is not right. I need to look at these points. I'm here. I'm not perfect. I am literally human. You are not perfect. You're literally human. So remember that and subscribe to the YouTube channel here. Share this video. Share points in the video you found. Comment. Reach out to me. All of that. Because the more you do that for me, the more I'm going to grow and change. And the more, hopefully, you will allow yourself to grow and change as well. And then we change the world. So, all right, y'all. I hope you have a fabulous day. And yeah,